Hello my friends, how's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. This is Sheree and I'm here to do a flip through of the Better Homes and Gardens garden binder journal. This is the one with the notebook rings, and here's the outside how it ended up. I didn't do too much to it. It was in good shape. It's not perfect. There are some blemishes, a little bit of age spots here, but I did clean it and it is as clean as it's going to get. But whoever gets it can do whatever they want with it. But I did add some rickrack here, yellow rick. It's pretty golden yellow rickrack to match this pretty cover. It's got really nice color in the flowers. And so, just turn on my light there. I realized my other light wasn't on. And then the side, here's what the spine of this one looks like, it's the original spine. And then the back of both of these has this basket of flowers. If you've watched different flip throughs of this type of garden, Better Homes and Gardens binder, you might have noticed that there's one that has flowers all over. And this basket, I don't know what others are, but I just remember those two. I think I had another one that I sold a few years ago, or a couple years ago, with the flowers all over, and they're both, no matter what they are, they're always very pretty. So, and this has some aging on it too. It's from 1968, so it's been around a good while. But as you can see, I think you can probably see it's in good shape. So I've got as many pages I felt that I could put in here. If I put any more in here, it would be hard to turn the pages. So that's why I didn't put any more pages in here. But it's got, I think, 50 or so pages, and that means 100 sides or surfaces. So in the front and back cover, I did recover the insides with some pretty paper. We did the large journaling cards together, and here's one of them. This is a page from the book. If you remember, if you didn't see that, it's a page from this book that we made into a journaling card, and I sewed around it. Very pretty, and that's in this front pocket. We did put some rickrack right here on the front and back, inside the front and back covers. And I've got a little tuck spot here. It does go all the way through like a belly band, but I have a little round circular tag tucked in there. Okay, and then a flip through. So the first page, I have several pieces of pretty scrapbook paper like this, and I have 6 of the divider pages that originally came with this book. So here's the first page, and it has rickrack here, and it flips out, so it's a good size. You have a good size area here to do whatever you would like inside that scrapbook paper. And I put a lot of fun papers in here too. Here is a page from a book that I had. I think it was I had several different garden type journals and books, and so I put one here. This has little lines on it, light dotted lines on it, and I think you can maybe see that, but it's really pretty little decoration down here. And this is some garden stationery. I did hand dye the back of that with some, this one was the green spritz. This is from another garden journal here. And it's a little page with plant, location, color, height, like a little record of, you're supposed to keep a little record of what you're growing in your garden and information about it. And I've got a little tab here. And then just some random fun papers. This one has the lines on it. This is from a Shakespeare journal. And then just some brown paper from another book. Was this? Yeah, it was from a book because it has these holes in it. I didn't put those holes in it. It was from a book I took apart. So just some nice craft colored paper. This is the first divider where I showed you this already, but if you didn't see it, I covered the one side with this graph paper and the other side with ledger and sewed around it. So that's the first divider page. This is from an atlas. Nice map paper. And stationery. And you can see how nicely the pages turn in here. This is the brown envelope that I showed you. I didn't decorate it. I left it for, I think I put one decoration on the other half. I put half here, half of the envelope here, like a 9x12 envelope. Cut it in half. The end here is glued together. And then I put holes in and, you know, punched it in. But the other half of it is in the second half of this journal. But in here, it's a nice big pocket. It's got the flap on it. And it was never used, I don't believe, or if it was used, this little clasp was never used. So you could open that and, you know, clasp it together if you wanted to. And in here I have those two pieces of ephemera that I showed you that someone had made notes about their garden. And I said there was 4 of them, 4 pieces, and I put 2 in each journal of the 2 journals I've been working on. So 2 of them are right here, and they're in this pocket. I thought those were really neat. We went over what they say in the video where I showed you those a few days ago. This is some wallpaper here. Kind of has a little bit of a texture on it. It's a pretty color. And here's the back side. This is from another, yet another little kind of journal or garden journal that I had. It has lines on it. It says winter right there. And then it has lines on this side and a grid or graph paper on this side. It's a nice thick type paper too. And then here's another page. This one says January with lines on both sides. And this is this page is made from the index page of an atlas. And on here I put a little pocket. This little cardstock kind of pocket was in a organizer book, and I think it was a card organizer. It says a date right here, and it's by recollections. Little dividers. It has lines you can write on. So I made it into a pocket here. And in there I have a journaling card made from a little calendar. And a little journaling card. And a little booklet made kind of from scraps. Little scrap cardstock scrap paper here on the outside. It's sewn together here at the top. And then it has some little tiny pages in it. So cute, right? Yeah, just several pages. There's about 5 pages in there. So, fun goodies in there. And then, next page is another divider page. So on this side, I left this side blank with some rickrack. And then on this side, I have, this pocket was from, like film strips or negatives. Kind of old. This one has a date written on it of 1989. Someone wrote that on there when they got their negatives back, or their pictures, or whatever was in here. Then in here I have a journaling card. Say hello to spring. And one of my fabric bookmarks, or you can use it as a journaling card. It's sewn around, backed on cardstock. I'm just going to cut off this string right here. And then, so you can write on it, you can decorate it, you can add a ribbon on the top. Whatever you want to do, you can glue it down and make it into a tuck spot somewhere, a pocket, you know, just any number of things. But it is in here for someone to have fun with. And then also in that, this is kind of I'm going to call it a glassine bag. And it's kind of a thin, paper. So I would be careful putting things in and out. And it is old. It's oldish, you know, 1989 at least. It's from. So, and this is a tag that I had made a while ago, just with some little pieces and scraps and things, some paint. This is painted. You can write on the back. Better together, and you got a pineapple there. So, just some fun stuff in here. And then, like I said, back's playing with the rickrack. This is from a garden book, another garden book that I had, and it opens up like this. You've probably seen these garden books either on YouTube, or you may have one like it yourself. There's a couple different versions of it, at least a couple, maybe more. But I like how it opens up, and it's all about gardening, so you can do whatever you would like to do there with that. This is from Edith Holden book, June. Love the font on her pages. This is another one of those craft colored pages, and I've got a little layered flower here, kind of a paper flower. Got 2 pieces to it. So this is from the children's. I used one children's book in these journals, and it was about gardening. So very cool little book. And it had some nice big pages in it. So here's one. And this is, it was all, pictures of flowers and things like that. There's little butterflies in here. So really neat little book. I've got a tab here made from a floral playing card. Here's this side of it with the little lady in the story and some birds. She's, I believe, taking a ride on the birds. I guess she's a little, I think her name was, I don't remember now. I'd have to look to see if it says her name, but I think it was Mrs. Mustard Seed. Maybe you know the story. And then here's another page from a gardening book, a little chart about gardens and how things grow. This is some very large and pretty ledger paper that I have, and I've got a tab on this side of it, but it's a fold out. So it goes like this, and there's some beautiful handwriting in numbers here and words, if you can see all the beautiful handwriting here, so nice. And so it's really neat old ledger paper. The garden stationery. The third divider from this book. I have sewn on here some little photo sleeves, and I left the original divider in the middle, and I have little note papers in this side, and on this side I have the index cards that we made together and put the little information from the garden books on them. So those are in this side. And that is on the third divider page, sewn on right here with a little hinge. And this side is blank. So I kind of did something with one side of the divider cards and left the other side. Maybe you like the original look of it, or maybe you want to do something over here. You know what I mean? So the next page is pretty scrapbook paper with a fold out. So I tried to put several of those in here. And then some atlas paper, matte paper, and this is some note paper. I have the word grow on here, and this is the line. This is from the garden journal actually, and it had some blank papers like this, and so lines on this side and graph paper over here. And then this is another page from the children's book. The little tab is made from a game where I kind of decoupaged or Mod Podged on a piece of scrapbook paper. And this was from the game called Bottle Caps, if you ever remember that game. we have it. I think someone bought it for us as a gift, and I think we tried to play it once, but it was really hard and kind of impossible. So it just sat in the closet for a very long time, and then I took it over one day and said, I'm going to make something out of these. So that is what I did. Put little pieces of scrapbook paper on all of them. There were two colors. This burgundy color and kind of a light wood color, and you were supposed to have a little wooden bottle in there, and you're supposed to stack them on top and try to keep it from all falling down. So yep, bottle caps, and that's one of them right there. It was just little wood pieces, little round wood pieces. So, and that's a page from that children's book. Another one of these pages. These are so pretty, from a garden book. Another piece of the garden chart from another garden books. I got out all of my garden books. This was a pretty piece of paper. I think I only had one, and it's spritz with some really pretty like greens and blues. Maybe I did two colors on here, I'm not sure, but the shading is really pretty. So there's that there. And then this is the fourth divider page. You can see it's plain on this side, and then this side I put the belly band. And under the belly band, several pieces of paper and things. This is some craft colored paper. And then there's a note paper with a little bird on it. And this is an envelope that I put together, made up from a children's book page. And it's just got some scraps or whatever punch outs on here, made it to look like an envelope. There's where the stamp would go and an address label. And then, decoration across the back here. And in here I have a journaling card. Is it two? Yeah, it's two. Happy notes. Pretty little, the little bird on that side. And then this one. And you can write on that side. So just some fun journaling cards. And that's all That was all behind this belly band that we made together and on video, and then I sewed it down on here, or sewed down here so you can see it through the paper there, through the cardstock of this divider page, sewn on here as a belly band. That turned out really nice. Another page from Edith Holden. Got lined. This is the Edith Holden Garden Notes book. She's got, you know, several different books, and this one was called Garden Notes, and it has this lined paper in it. So I put one in here so I can write on that side. This is from the children's book. She's watching it rain and watching her garden grow there. Very cool, little bird over here. Another page from a garden book. This is some of that ledger paper, and it has a pocket here with a little sunflower. And this ledger, a lot of the pages had this little receipt on it. And when I can, usually I just leave it. It has an old kind of almost rusted staple there. And you can take it off if you want, but I always leave it on there, and then whoever gets the journal can do what they want with it. But it's a little old receipt, and I guess it added up probably maybe this column here. I'm not sure. I never compared it, but anyway, I always just leave those there unless for some reason I have to take it and cut it off or something, but usually I leave it. This is one of the index cards that we made together. This one just has pretty scrapbook paper on the back, and then you have your lines from the index card on the side. And this is a little envelope that you can open up. There's a little note paper inside, and it unfolds, so you can like leave it to unfold. You could glue it together, whatever you want to do. You can make a secret, you know, kind of private journaling spot. But it has a little paper flower here you can use with it to decorate this or something in the journal. It has a little piece of twine and a little note here that says especially for you. So several things come in there. This all came together, and I had purchased several or gotten several of these in a little package one time, and I think it was actually from somebody like Global Land or something like that I was demonstrating for, and I got several of those. So yeah, I put one in here for someone to have fun with. This is another page that I had that was a large page, like very wide, and I cut it in half. I put half here, and it's really kind of interesting with this pattern on here, and here's the other side, the same pattern. And we'll see the other half in a little bit, and I'll show you. The fifth divider page. Here we have a pocket from the paper bag that we made together. I sewed it on this page. And in here I have a little sunflower book mark. And there's a sunset or sunrise on this side. That's in there. And then this little book page tag that I decorated with a sunflower sticker there. It's one of the 3D sunflower stickers. And a little scrappy journaling card there. That's all in that pocket. And then the back of this is plain, just like all the other ones. Edith Holden here. This is from another little garden organizer, or I think this was a garden organizer. It says, it has a name of a flower here and information. And then this has had a big pocket here. So I put in here one of these labels. I don't have very many of these, but I found these at a was it an antique flea market or just a flea market? I think it was more like an antique flea market, and it was, I'm trying to think where that was. That was here in North Carolina, I believe. It was kind of a little bit of a drive away, and we heard about it and went one day, and I found these tomato labels there, but the guy was charging $1 each, so I didn't get too many of them. He had a lot of them, but he was charging an arm and a leg for his stuff, and this is one of the cheaper things I found there. Yeah, that day, and these old labels that were never used, tomatoes. So I put one in here in this pocket, and then I also have this is a Black Eyed Susan seed packet. It did have seeds in it, and I used the seeds. I think there's still a couple in there, but it's a pretty little seed packet, Black Eyed Susan. So you can do what you would like with that. I was going to put it down somewhere and make a pocket, but I thought I was just about done with the journal, and I thought, let me just, leave it for someone else to put a pocket where they want, you know what I mean? That's what I did. This is a garden journal page, or a garden book page, not from this book, from another garden book. And it folds out. It's one of those that fold out. It's a nice big page. And this is from the little garden journal, like I showed you. I had one in the front too. And I have a little tab on here on the little fold out. So it's got lines where you can write front and back. And a page from the children's book. This was so cute. She's got some fireflies or something there. And the little critters over here. Look like they're preparing something for the garden. Another garden book page here. And this is the last and 6th divider page. Now, all the rest of the pages and dividers are coming with this. When you see this, video, of course, it will be in my shop. But yeah, so there's plenty more divider pages for you to do what you would like with. But for this last one, I made a flip up. It's hinged on up here and attached, and so it's just scrapbook paper. Flips up so you can do what you want here. Scrapbook paper is white on the back, so you can do what you want there. And of course, you can do what you want here. And it's really pretty scrapbook paper. On this side, I did put a couple of things. This I cut out from the book, the children's book. This word seeds, I kind of like fussy cut that out and glued it right there. Over there was a word there, and I glued it right over that word. And then this I got in Happy Mail this past week, just in time. This pretty garden, I'm going to call her my garden princess, or garden queen. She's so pretty with her flowers, and I got that in Happy Mail from Mardell. So thank you so much, Mardell. There's one of those, so beautiful on this page, right? It looks so perfect there. And then this is garden stationery. And all these garden stationaries, or most of them, I'm not going to say 100% of them, but most of them I spritzed on the back with some color. And then here we have an index page from an atlas where I added 3 little pockets. This has got some pretty note paper in it. And a little tag. Little manila tag made from the file folder. And third and smallest pocket. I guess these are the same size. But in here I have 2 smaller tags for you to have fun with. You can add ribbon, baker's twine, string, whatever you want, little decorations, glue them down, do whatever you want. But there's things in here for you to have crafty fun with. So here's the second half of the envelope. Let me take a drink real quick. This is from the book. I fussy cut out this little piece here with the birds. And they're eating some seeds or something there. Anyway, I thought that was so cute. I put it on here as a decoration. So yeah, like I said, this is the other half, or the bottom half of that envelope, the brown envelope that I mentioned and showed you in the front half. And in here, I have one of the post-it that we made together. I did decorate the front of it with a little piece from an ephemera pack that I have. Let me undo it for you. So that's really pretty on there. And then I added this ribbon in the little circle here that was there from the scrapbook paper that we used to make this. And that was the branding strip that we didn't cut off. And then you can open up and have all this room for writing. So, or you can always put holes in it and add it to, you can put holes in anything you want and add it to the binder. And this has a notebook ring so you can move things around, things like that. So that is in there. And then this is an envelope made from a Velveteen Rabbit book page. And, well, it's got this page on it here, a little flip. And then this part is made from an envelope. You've got some string just decorated wrapped around there. You've got a bridge score pad sheet here for writing room. And then you have the envelope itself in here with a little note paper. Let me see if I can get it out. Little note paper in here. So that is in there. And yep, you can put whatever you want in there. But for now, I have put that in there for you. Little kind of journaling spot. And then the other thing that was in there is this pretty little scene here. Some palm trees. And you can, there's a writing spot here. Excuse me. Pretty much over my cold, but it flares up. I have a little cough once in a while, a little something left still getting over it. This is from the Edith Holden Garden Notes. And this is that pretty paper I showed you at the beginning. I had one, the other half in the beginning, and it was, I said I only had one of these. Well, I cut it in half, put one half up there and one half back here. And it's so pretty. I didn't put anything on it because I couldn't bear to cover up any of this beautiful color. But, of course, the person that gets this, it's for them to have fun with and put whatever they want on there. Okay, and here's the other half of that newsletter. That's how big it is. The piece I cut off was right here, and it went down like twice this size, so that the other half is in the front that I showed you, and this is the back half. This one has squares on this side, and then it says newsletter over here, so you've got all this room here too. So a really fun piece of paper there. And then a piece of pretty scrapbook paper. I put, I think all the scrapbook papers are floral, so, you know, for the garden theme. And we've got a little pocket here, rack, and it's on that scrapbook paper. And in here, this is an envelope made into a journaling card. And like I always say, just to remind you, in case you haven't seen my previous videos, since this is an envelope, you can slit any of these sides, and you can make this into a pocket, because it is, I mean, of course you can make it into a pocket just like this, and, you know, put something in behind it. Or you can have like even a double pocket, something behind, slit it open here, and then you'll have the inside of the envelope. I have it closed just because I made a bunch of envelopes into journaling cards. You can write on it, and you can also decorate, put a little picture here, whatever you want, and just use this like a background. So, and then here's a journaling card made from the children's book. This was the part of the cover, and I just made it into a journaling card here. This pretty little spot here with these flowers floating through the air. Very pretty. And then I put extra, oh, this was one of the index cards that we made together with the stamps. That was one of the videos this past week, if you didn't see that. And we, on the other side, we put a page from, this is right side up here, from the Orchid Golden Guidebook. And we were able to use pretty much the whole page. I think on some of them I just had to cut off the tiniest of slivers to not have it hanging over, but these came out really nice, and you have all this writing room now, so a lot of fun. Those were nice and easy to make. Another piece of pretty scrapbook paper here, and they all pretty much fold out and have, I put rickrack on this one. They all don't have rickrack on them, but I could put rickrack on this one. And now we're at the back cover, and with another big pocket here. So here's another, the second large journaling card for this one. This pretty little backyard garden scene here, all sewn around. So that is in there. And then there's a little, I put this little piece here. This was from the children's book, a little quote. But I made it into a, is it a belly band and a pocket, or just a belly, oh, it's just a pocket. It doesn't go through. But this was from an actual plant that I crossed my path in the last few years. And I made it into a little kind of tag. It's got a file folder cardstock on the back. So that is in there. And then this is a little wallpaper drilling card. Back to the wallpaper. I mean, file folder also. So, oh, let me just tell you one thing. I meant to tell you on the way, but you saw how everything flipped, right? Real nice. I didn't really have trouble flipping anything. But but I wanted to tell you with, you know, to have full disclosure. You know, this binder was in really good condition, everything. And these notebook rings all close very tightly, except for this one doesn't, I don't know if I can even show you, but it doesn't close like this one's, it's like totally flat together. This one's not totally flat together. There's a tiny gap there. It doesn't close fully together. So if you did have trouble turning any pages, it would be because of that. It would catch on there. But like I didn't really have trouble. You don't really have, I mean, if you didn't, I don't think you noticed me having any trouble turning the pages, so. But I did want to mention it in case you get this and you'll be like, oh, there's a gap there, and Sheree didn't even tell us. Well, I'm telling you right now, there is a little gap there, but it doesn't really keep you from turning the pages. And if there is any trouble, you would just, you know, I mean, I probably can't even get it to catch. You know what I mean? Like, you can see me turning the pages. Here's two together. Here's a bunch together. It's not really catching, so, you know. But I did want to mention it because, I didn't want anybody to, you know, to get it and say, oh, Sheree didn't even tell us. So, I'm telling you. But anyway, here's the goodies I have packed up so far for it to go along with this journal. So, let's see. I have a little ruffle here. And, of course, this is, I made the ruffle. And you can use it as a whole, or you can cut it into tabs or, you know, pieces if you wanted to use it on, you know, the side. Glue a little piece here and there, whatever, or the whole thing. If you're going to use the whole thing, I would just put, if you've never used a ruffle before, I would just use something like fabric tack and, you know, good strong glue. Put it right down the middle, like where I sewed, and then just glue it down. And it's really cool because it looks like, you know, it kind of looks like you sewed it down, but it's really glued on. But, you know, it's a pretty little kind of, and this is made from a vintage sheet. So it's sheet fabric. Yep. And so the next thing is some labels, floral, of course, because this is a garden journal, and then some vintage tickets. They're old, so they're not in perfect condition, but they're nice old tickets, so those will be fun to craft with. And then here I have a beautiful florist card, and I love this one. I think I only had two of them. I put one in here and one with the other. I'll show you the other journal tomorrow in tomorrow's video. I kind of figured it would be too much for one video, so and I'm kind of finishing that one up, so just gotta take care of my nose there. But yeah, isn't that, I don't know if you can see the colors in that, but it's just gorgeous. So that is in there. A little envelope, little brown craft colored envelope that you can use, decorate and do things with, have some crafty fun with. And in here, several things. Let me see. I've got two of these cigar labels, vintage cigar labels, never used, but I picked those up one time in Florida, and it was kind of a antique vendor shop, you know, where they have all the booze. There was one there. It's not there anymore, but I was lucky enough to go to that one several years in a row while it was there. And it kind of closed down. They had two, and one closed down during COVID and one closed down after. There is another one there now, or another couple. So one's in Mount Dora, and one's, the other one might be, I'm trying to think. I think there's another one in Eustis, or I think the other one's in Eustis. So if you live in that area, maybe you've been to them or seen them, or you can look for them. Anyway, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stamps, all different, you know, old stamps in here. Used stamps that I've cut off from envelopes, or, you know, picked up in my crafty travels, thrifty travels. So that's in there. This was a tag that I made from, it was a piece from Richard's Scary Book, and it just had this, it says forest right there, and it has all these trees. So I thought this would be a fun tag for this journal, and I have put it in here for you. And then this is a random piece of scrap paper I had laying around, so I put that in there. And then I had several, the rest of these scraps I have in here are from making this journal. So you recognize the scrapbook paper, this pretty floral one, this one here with the text. And I'll just go through these real quick so you can see all the little scraps, even that little craft colored one. This is part of the wallpaper. You know, lots of pretty little scraps I thought somebody might enjoy. Craft colored cardstock. And there was a bunch. There's a bunch here. This is a piece of fabric from the spine on the other journal. I use this pretty little floral fabric. And then, let's see, any more? There's more scraps here. Let me get all the scraps together. This one here. And this is a scrap for the paper bag. So you could do something with that. And this is a paper scrap, like just a nice paper. another paper. Oh, this is a piece of the paper bag that I glued down onto craft color cardstock. So you can do something with this. You can round the corners. You can make it into a tag, pocket, drawing card, whatever you want. And I think that's all the scraps. Okay, so let me put those over there. And then if you've been watching my videos in the last week or two, I had, what were we doing? We were making something, and I had some little cut-off strips or scraps from a file folder. Anyway, I took those little pieces right then and there. I didn't put them in my scrap box. I took my punches and punched out these little tags with them. So these are just freshly cut. Using up those little scraps because I didn't want to add them to my scrap box. I made, this is one size, and then there's a smaller size, and there's an even smaller size, and even smaller size. So I had some fun punching out different size tags, and I put some in here in a little goodie pack. And I got a flashcard, vintage flashcard. You can decorate with that. And then let's see, here is some where I was practicing using my stamps when we used the stamps on the journal cards that day in that video. So I put these in here, bugs and kisses, and you can cut these apart, round the corners, you know, tear them, whatever you want to do, and use them to decorate. And that's a little kind of flourish stamp with little birds on it. So that is also in there. This is a flower card. Some of the things that are in here are things I kind of wanted to put in there, but I didn't want to put any more in there, so I'm going to I put them in the goodie pack, so whoever gets this can do what they wish. But this is blank inside. The back is white, and you know, you're supposed to be able to write in there, but cute little flower card. And the envelopes that came with that are these neat kind of square envelopes, so you could make that into a pocket in the journal or wherever. And then this is the big piece that we did together with the paper bag. I had an 8.5 by 11 piece. I cut in half, put half in this journal and half in the other one in the goodie pack. And so we had backed it onto this craft colored cardstock. And so after the video, what I did was kind of messy stitch, fun messy stitch around here twice. I don't know if you can see there's two lines of stitching around. So anyway, either you can use it as a whole or cut it up and use it however you wish, but that is in there. And then I've got a little piece of scrap bric rack in there. And let's see, this is like I think this is a wine label. I got it in a vintage subscription I got at one time. So I have a couple of those. I put one in here. This was in that vintage subscription too, this little card. And it doesn't open up or anything, but it has a little hole there. Maybe it used to have a string, or maybe it came with string where you could put string through there. But it's a pretty little card that you could have some fun with. I think it's Christmas. It's got Spanish here. Muchas. I'm not going to try to pronounce the last word, but you could try if you get that. And these two pieces right here are just kind of random ephemera, vintage ephemera that I got in those subscription packs. I believe that's where they came from. So this one was in there. Just a little card. I think stuff like that is fun. You know, old vintage stuff that, you know, should have been thrown away. So it's true, authentic, original vintage ephemera. And, you know, it's fun to see what you can do and have fun with this and decorate it and make it into something, right? So those are in there, two of those. And also, this is a little vintage card. It's floral, so that's why I put it in here. Very pretty little fan. Got a dove here and everything, you know, all the little flowers all around, front and back. So you could cut this in half and make it into a pocket, like in a corner. You can make it into one big pocket. Isn't that pretty opened up? Or you could cut it in half and make two corner pockets, you know, tucks or whatever. Anything, whatever you want to do. This one has some embossing, you know, layering or embossing on it. This one in the back is flat. So anyway, lots of fun goodies in the ephemera pack. So I hope you enjoyed the flip through of this one. And like I said, it'll be in my journal or in my eBay shop when you see this. And I'll do the flip through for the second one tomorrow, because that one is, even though it's similar, it's very different, because that one this is the one I had to make the new spine for, and I couldn't use the ring binder. So it's completely different orientation, 3 signatures, and both of these were a lot of fun to make. I'm so glad I did it and challenged myself to make the one with the, the 3 signatures, and in bigger pages. There's lots of fun Franken pages in there. So stay tuned for that tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Have a great day.